The most dangerous thing about an alligator isn't its teeth. It's that you already know it's there, and yet you're still walking toward the water. There's something deeply unsettling about that moment. The stillness, the silence, the way the surface of the water gives you nothing. No ripple, no warning, no confirmation. Just a mirror. And somewhere beneath it is an animal that has perfected the art of waiting. Alligators are not just predators. They are survivors in the purest, most uncompromising sense of the word. They existed long before humans ever stood upright, long before cities, before agriculture, before language. They were already here. They witnessed the aftermath of the asteroid that ended the age of dinosaurs. They endured global extinction events that erased entire branches of life. They survived ice ages by retreating into water systems that insulated them from the cold. And perhaps most impressive of all, they didn't evolve much after that, because they didn't need to. Today, we're exploring the family Alligatoridae, a lineage of armored, patient predators whose design became so efficient, evolution simply stopped trying to improve it. These animals are not fast. They are not flashy. They are not constantly hunting. They are something far more dangerous. They are perfectly optimized. Let's start in the southeastern United States, home of the American alligator. This animal represents one of the greatest conservation turnarounds in modern history. In the mid-20th century, alligators were nearly gone. Relentless hunting for their hides and meat had pushed them to the brink. By the 1960s, seeing one in the wild had become rare. But then, something unusual happened. Humans stepped back. Legal protections were introduced. Habitats were preserved. Hunting was regulated. And slowly, the swamps began to refill with life. Today, there are millions of alligators across the American Southeast. They live in marshes, rivers, lakes, and increasingly in places that blur the line between wild and human. Golf course ponds, suburban drainage systems, backyard waterways. Not because they invaded us, but because we built around them. Ecologically, the American alligator is what scientists call a keystone species. Remove it, and the entire ecosystem begins to unravel. During droughts, when wetlands dry and life begins to collapse, alligators do something remarkable. They dig. Using their bodies, they excavate depressions known as gator holes. These holes retain water long after everything else has evaporated. Fish gather there. Birds hunt there. Turtles survive there. Entire micro-ecosystems form because of one animal. Without these refuges, countless species wouldn't make it through the dry season. The alligator doesn't just live in the ecosystem. It builds it. But when it comes to hunting, there's no complexity, no strategy in the way we typically imagine it. There is only execution. When an alligator strikes, it does so with explosive speed, faster than human reaction time. It doesn't chew. It clamps its jaws shut with immense force, and then it spins. This is the infamous death roll, a violent, controlled rotation that tears prey apart through pure physics, separating bone from muscle, joint from socket. It's not dramatic. It's not emotional. It's mechanical. And it's been working, unchanged, for tens of millions of years. Despite all of this, the American alligator is statistically one of the least likely large predators to kill a human in North America. Because under normal circumstances, it wants nothing to do.
Halfway across the world, in the floodplains of eastern China, lives the only other true alligator species, the Chinese alligator. If the American alligator is a success story, this one is a warning. The Chinese alligator is smaller, rarely exceeding 1.5 meters, heavily armored with dense bony plates called osteoderms, covering nearly its entire body. It is quieter, more secretive, and unlike its American cousin, it hibernates. During winter, it retreats into burrows and remains dormant until temperatures rise again, an unusual trait among crocodilians. For millions of years, it survived floods, climate shifts, and natural predators. But it is now critically endangered. Fewer than 100 individuals remain in the wild. Not because of evolution, but because of us. Agricultural expansion, irrigation systems, habitat fragmentation. The same forces that allowed human civilization to grow are quietly erasing one of Earth's oldest survivors. Now we move to South America, to the Amazon basin. And here, the rules change. In these dark, slow-moving waters lives the largest and most dominant member of this family, the black caiman. This is not just a predator, it is the apex. Reaching lengths of over 5 meters, the black caiman sits at the top of one of the most competitive ecosystems on Earth.
Then there's the broad-snouted caiman. Its wide, U-shaped jaw isn't built for slicing. It's built for crushing. Snails, turtles, hard-shelled prey. Its bite functions like a hydraulic press, an evolutionary specialization that allows it to exploit a niche others can't. And finally, the most numerous crocodilian on Earth, the spectacled caiman. Named for the bony ridge between its eyes that resembles glasses, this species is incredibly adaptable. So adaptable, in fact, that it has established populations outside its native range, even in places like Florida, living alongside native alligators. Its relative, the Yacaré caiman, takes a different approach. It doesn't dominate through size. It dominates through numbers. In the Brazilian Pantanal, populations are estimated in the millions, possibly over 10 million individuals. An overwhelming presence. A predator that succeeds not by being the strongest, but by being everywhere. So whether it's an alligator resting motionless in a suburban canal, or a black caiman drifting through the Amazon at night, these animals are operating on a level of efficiency that feels almost unnatural. But it isn't. It's just old. Very, very old. We've built myths around them, turned them into monsters, into gods, into symbols of danger. We fence them in. We study them. We try to control their presence. But they've never needed our permission to exist. They remind us of something we often forget. Nature does not negotiate. It does not compromise. And it does not care if you understand it. The river offers life, but it also demands respect. Because sometimes, the cost of getting too close